wow, the Seahawks take Devon Witherspoon, a shocker, with the number 5 overall selection. Welcome in, Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you with instant reaction and analysis to the Seahawks pick, their first of 2 here in the 2023 NFL Draft. Now, before we tell you about Devon Witherspoon, let's set the scene for you here. It was believed by most folks that if Seattle stayed at 5 and if Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud were gone, that they were leaning towards Jalen Carter or Tyree Wilson, with Will Anderson also off the board. Instead, they wait till the 11th hour. They were fielding calls for trade offers, and ultimately, at the end of the day, they settle on Devon Witherspoon, corner from Illinois. Now, I got to tell you, I personally would have gone with Jalen Carter here. Not a knock on Witherspoon. I think Witherspoon's a fine player, but I am surprised that Seattle goes with this pick. Our own Tom Downey has him as the best corner in this draft, number 6 overall player. He was great at Illinois this past season, and that Illinois defense was a force to be reckoned with, and was able to get their defensive coordinator, Ryan Walters, the head coaching job at Purdue. The scouting report on Devon Witherspoon. Let's tell you more about him. He's a sticky player with toughness and ball skills, coming off a massive jump forward with absurd production in 2022. Not a top-tier athlete, but he makes up for it with his competitive level. This is somebody that plays very tough despite his size. He's way harder than he should, hits way harder than he should, and played a ton of man coverage as well. So just some of the things that stand out to you here from Devon Witherspoon ultimately ending up in Seattle. So you look at where the Seahawks are at, and Tariq Woolen was one of the best corners in the entire NFL last year as a rookie, 5th-round rookie. He's back into the fold. You brought back Mike Jackson. We're expecting Julian Love, who you brought from the New York Giants, to be your starting nickelback. Kobe Bryant had a decent rookie year. He was your 4th-round pick from Cincinnati. We already know that the safety room is loaded with what they bring together with a healthy Jamal Adams hopefully coming back and Quandre Diggs. But now you are loading up in the corner room as well, and now you should have the attention of the entire league with your secondary playing lockdown defense, and the no-fly zone is going to be spectacular. So while I would have liked Jalen Carter here and would have liked to see the Seahawks improve the front 7, I can see why you want to just load up and lock things down in the secondary too. I don't hate the pick. Would I preferred Carter? Yes, but I get why you went Devon Witherspoon here. Grade the pick for me. What do you think of what the Seahawks did going with Devon Witherspoon? A, B, C, D, or F? Tell me in the comments section. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Get your votes in and tell me what your grade is for this pick for the Seattle Seahawks, going with Devon Witherspoon with their first-round selection at number 5. What do you think of what Seattle did going with Devon Witherspoon? Tell me what you think. A, B, C, D, or F? And we'll tell you more about Devon Witherspoon in a second, but want to hear what you guys think about this pick from the Seattle Seahawks going with Witherspoon here. More on Witherspoon, the statistics. Let's show you those of what he brought to the table here. 42 tackles, 3 interceptions, 14 pass breakups, and no forced fumbles. And this is a guy that was just simply a menace. He was a problem for offenses that he dealt with, and he was always taking on the top wide receivers in the Big Ten, and he never backed down. He was up for the challenge, and he was great last year at Illinois and certainly showed it all season long. The scouting report from The Athletic, let's bring you that, what they had to say about Devon Witherspoon. Witherspoon needs to walk the fine line of being aggressive without drawing flags, but his fiery play personality is a positive, along with his cover, athleticism, ball skills, and finishing toughness. He projects as an immediate NFL starter with scheme versatility. So that's exactly what you want to hear if you're the Seahawks. This is a guy that's going to step in right away and play alongside Tariq Woolen on the other side of that cornerback room, and you just got a heck of a football player. So, folks, we're with you here all weekend on the channel. We got our live show going on throughout the first round that you may be watching in real time with us. You might be watching this video on demand and can join us still for the first round. Check that out. You'll be glad you did as we react to the draft in real time. We're going to be bringing you draft coverage all weekend long. Sub to the channel. We're trying to reach 37,000 subscribers for our boy Jaire Alexander. For the best draft coverage, for the best info and insights of who's covering the Seattle Seahawks, we got you covered here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now. Turn on notifications. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV as we bring you analysis of each and every pick all weekend long here on the channel. We got you covered. So the picks so far leading up to Seattle with their selection at number 5. Bryce Young went off the board at Carolina. That was no surprise. C.J. Stroud went to Houston at 2. And C.J. Stroud spoke leading up to the draft, saying that he really liked the Seahawks organization and that he was very appreciative of Pete Carroll and John Schneider and had some good meetings. Ultimately, the Texans took him with their first pick. The Cardinals traded out of the number 3 spot. The Texans picked back-to-back as they moved up from the number 12 spot. They went with Will Anderson, the best player in this draft and certainly the best defensive player. And then the Indianapolis Colts ended up going with Anthony Richardson as the third quarterback off the board. So Seattle, with what they did with this pick, with those 4 guys gone, just think about the players that they passed on. They said no to Tyree Wilson. They said no to Jalen Carter. They said no to Will Levis. They were committed to Devon Witherspoon, and they did a really good job of keeping it under wraps because Devon Witherspoon was not talked about very much at all for Seattle as an option for that number 5 pick. Now, let's show you the depth chart for Seattle here. You can see where things stand going into Thursday night. Your starters there include Jamal Adams, as well as Quandre Diggs, Mike Jackson, Tariq Woolen, and Julian Love. Hate to break it to Mike Jackson, but more than likely Devon Witherspoon slides into that spot. And now you're looking at a secondary that might be as good as any secondary room in the entire National Football League. Pretty incredible, right? To see that he's going to bring that much with him to the table, that he's going to elevate that group so much, and they're going to be a problem for any team they face all season long. The numbers on Devon Witherspoon, we didn't see him do the jumps or the agility or bench test. But what we did see was a 40 time. And the 40 time was pretty solid from Devon Witherspoon. 4.43. You'll never complain about a corner running a 4.43. He is a hell of an athlete. The Seahawks, say what you want. Maybe you didn't like taking him over another player. I don't doubt that Devon Witherspoon is a fantastic football player. I think it's a good pick in the sense of the player that you got here. Although there were other guys I like better, if you're going to go corner, you made the right call. You got the best corner in this draft. That's the biggest takeaway that I see from this for the Seattle Seahawks, going with Witherspoon at that spot. Now, they pick at 20. They thought about trading that number 5 pick. Could they potentially trade the number 20 pick next? What will they do there? A lot to still unfold for this Seahawks team. To kind of set the scene for you, let's tell you about this real quick before we kind of wrap up things. Going into the weekend, salary cap space for Seattle, $7.34 million. And a team that has been very active this offseason, adding Geno Smith, Dre'Mont Jones, Bobby Wagner, Julian Love, Jaron Reed. This defense is a heck of a lot better than what it was going into this offseason. They've made some massive improvements. Sure, they've lost a couple guys, but this Seahawks team is here to compete. They are here to make a push, and there's no reason why the Seahawks can't compete among some of the best in the NFC this upcoming season. So before we go, want to know, who do you want to see the Seahawks draft next? With their next pick at 20, who would you like to see Seattle grab up? Let us know in the comments section who you would like to see in a Seahawks uniform after that pick at 5. Who should they go with 20 next? Subscribe to the channel. We got you covered all weekend long, and you will not want to miss a moment of it. Devon Witherspoon headed to Seattle. We'll have you covered here on the channel. Stay with us here on Seahawks Today.